As a woman, I didn't really know who I was. I needed to find out what the world was like, really.
Elvis Presley's marriage to Priscilla was strange and pretty sad, but things really came crashing down around them when Priscilla finally gave up and started having an affair. And you'll never believe what crazy thing happened next. Priscilla was just 14 when she started dating Elvis. It might have been puppy love for Priscilla. For Elvis, not so much. When he met Priscilla, Elvis was 10 years older than her and serving in the U.S. Army. Their relationship was pretty weird and messy the whole time they were together. But things got really bad between them after the big TV special that Elvis did in 1968. His career took off again, and Elvis hit the road. If he wasn't playing shows in Vegas, Elvis was touring the world, and he did a lot more than just singing. He started fooling around again behind Priscilla's back. Elvis had countless affairs. This obviously wasn't fair to Priscilla, who was left sitting home alone, taking care of their baby daughter Lisa Marie. Priscilla was a regular mom who obviously loved Lisa Marie, but that's not all she was. Priscilla was also a young woman in her 20s. Obviously, she had her needs. To let off some steam, Priscilla started taking private dance lessons. Her instructor was a mystery, but I can tell you this about him. His name was Mark, and he did something to Priscilla. Remember, her marriage to Elvis was barely over a year old, but being held by Mark on a dance floor in private made Priscilla understand what she needed. Later on in her autobiography, Priscilla made a shocking confession. She revealed that she had a short affair with Mark. At least something good happened. Elvis didn't find out about this affair. Priscilla also revealed something shocking about her first affair. She said that she regretted her brief relationship with Mark, and she said something else. Priscilla knew she needed so much more out of her marriage to Elvis. She would do practically anything to get closer to him. But how? Priscilla decided to do something that would bring her closer to Elvis. She never thought she'd do this. And sadly, what Priscilla ended up doing next would cause the breakup of her marriage to Elvis. Elvis was a huge karate fan. That never mattered much to Priscilla before. But then she decided to take up karate too. You'd think that would bring her closer to Elvis, but something crazy happened. Priscilla met Elvis's karate instructor, Mike Stone. Mike was great friends with Elvis, so Priscilla had a good feeling about it. But Priscilla didn't expect what happened. Mike was so charming and confident. Priscilla and Mike became very good friends. But then she realized something shocking. The way she felt about Mike made it obvious to her. Her marriage to Elvis was unnatural, and it was affecting her badly. Priscilla couldn't deny it any longer. She began an affair with Mike, and then the most unbelievable thing happened. Elvis found out about it, and he did the unthinkable. He talked about hiring someone to get rid of Mike. Elvis even ordered one of his buddies to get it done. Thankfully, Elvis got talked out of it. But for Priscilla, it was over. She separated from Elvis, and they got divorced in 1973. But something strange happened to them at the courthouse. After the divorce was finalized, Priscilla and Elvis walked out of the courthouse holding hands. Even though their relationship was strange and they had a crazy breakup, Elvis and Priscilla parted as friends. And if you're wondering what happened to Mike, the karate instructor, you won't believe it. That charming and confident guy sold the story of his affair to a gossip magazine. Good thing Priscilla ended it with him. I just feel like she really deserves so much better, especially after all she went through in her early years in her relationship with Elvis. Priscilla actually grew up in a military family, and what she said about her experience growing up was heartbreaking. She always called herself shy and unhappy about moving from one place to the next. Then Priscilla's stepdad got stationed with the U.S. Air Force in Germany. Priscilla was crushed about moving to a strange new country. But little did she know that Elvis lived in Germany with the U.S. Army. After they got to Germany, Priscilla's family didn't find it easy. They finally found a place to rent, but something seemed weird about the place. It turned out that their apartment was in a house where adult workers worked, if you know what I mean. And let's just say that lonely little Priscilla didn't make any friends hanging around that place. But her whole world was about to change. One night in 1959, Elvis had a big house party. Priscilla got invited to the party by a friend of her stepdad. People there said that when Elvis met Priscilla, it got weird real quick. Elvis behaved like a teenage boy with Priscilla, and things got pretty tense that night. Priscilla and Elvis hung out alone at the party. She got home way too late. Her parents said she could never see Elvis again, but that didn't matter to Elvis. He managed to sweet talk her parents into letting him date Priscilla. Of course, they gave in. Everyone around them considered Elvis and Priscilla an item until 1960. Then the bomb dropped on Priscilla. Elvis was going back to the States. Priscilla started reading all the gossip magazines from back home. Her heart broke again. All the magazines were full of gossip about Elvis's very healthy love life. But it turns out he actually had secret plans for Priscilla. Elvis started phoning Priscilla in Germany on the sly. In 1962, he did something crazy. Priscilla was barely 17 years old when Elvis sweet-talked her parents again. He convinced them to let their teenage daughter Priscilla fly halfway around the world to visit him in L.A. During that visit, the relationship between Elvis and Priscilla got even stranger, and Elvis broke a promise. He told her parents that he and Priscilla would be chaperoned at all times in L.A., but he actually snuck Priscilla off to Las Vegas, and then it got scary. Elvis got Priscilla to do some weird stuff. Because Elvis loved to party all night, he made Priscilla take stimulants and stay up with him. It's crazy to hear Priscilla describe Elvis back then. She said that Elvis acted like a daddy to her, and what Elvis said to his buddies was even more unbelievable. Elvis told his inner circle that what he liked most about the sweet, pretty, young, innocent Priscilla was how young she was. Elvis said that Priscilla was so young it was like training a doll to do what he wanted. It sounds like Elvis had everyone under his spell back then. I can't believe this happened. It's just seriously disturbing. But Priscilla managed to make it back home to Germany in one piece. Still, Elvis had other plans yet again. He got her parents to allow Priscilla to move back to the States for good. Elvis promised her parents that Priscilla would live with his dad and his stepmom until she graduated high school. But very soon after she arrived, Priscilla went to live with Elvis in Graceland, and it just gets crazier. Elvis often left Priscilla alone at Graceland with his hired help. He went off to Hollywood to make movies with beautiful actresses. Still, the one thing that Elvis did agree to was marry Priscilla one day. It's unbelievable that this happened. In May of 1967, Elvis did actually go through with this in Vegas, which is really weird, considering how many people said he was acting before he married Priscilla. His cook said she called Elvis crying about having to get married, and some sources say that Priscilla had been suspicious for years that Elvis was fooling around before they got married. But after a $10,000 wedding breakfast with a few guests in Las Vegas, 21-year-old Priscilla was hell-bent on making her marriage work. Immediately after their wedding, something else happened. Elvis and Priscilla went MIA for 3 weeks to his private ranch in Mississippi. It was pretty much the first time they were ever alone together. Here's what their honeymoon was like behind closed doors. Priscilla admitted that she loved playing house and caring for Elvis with no housekeepers around. And the two lovebirds got up to other stuff too. Priscilla soon realized that she was carrying Elvis's baby. You'd think she must have been overjoyed. Unfortunately, she wasn't. And here's the unbelievable reason why. 7 years into her strange relationship with Elvis, Priscilla realized something on her honeymoon. She said it was the first time that she ever felt close to Elvis, but it still felt like bad news was coming, and Priscilla got really worried. She was convinced that a baby would ruin the weird, new happiness that she felt with Elvis. Priscilla suggested something to him that might sound crazy now. She talked to Elvis about ending her pregnancy. They both thought long and hard about it, and they came to the conclusion that they couldn't end the pregnancy. And 9 months later, Lisa Marie Presley was born. Elvis and Priscilla were both overjoyed. Still, trouble was brewing. You won't believe the heartbreaking thing that Elvis did. I'm not saying he didn't love the baby. According to former flame Nancy Sinatra, Elvis phoned her and said Lisa Marie was just beautiful. The baby wasn't the problem. Unfortunately, the way Elvis felt about Priscilla becoming a mom was shocking. Elvis broke down and told Priscilla that they couldn't be intimate anymore after Lisa Marie. He felt weird about being with a woman after she gave birth, even if the woman was his wife. If that sounds crazy, there's a sad and strange reason for the way Elvis felt. His old friend Sonny West admitted something later on. It had to do with Elvis's mom, Gladys. According to friends like Sonny, Elvis was weirdly close to his mom. In fact, after she passed away, Elvis cried for days. He was never the same. He put Gladys on a pedestal for her entire life, and it seems like Elvis put all moms on a pedestal. In his mind, getting intimate with any mother was bad. It sounds sad and strange, but that's how much Elvis loved his mom. For Priscilla, her worst fears came true. Her worries about having a baby weren't so weird after all. After that, their relationship got even worse, and that's when Priscilla first got involved with other men, which I feel honestly is kind of understandable.